to do this time?
Well, hopefully we'll do the opposite of what we did last time around. I thought everything we kind of did played into the hands of what makes them successful. We took some quick shots. We turned it over at times. They were able to get out in transition. We did not guard their back down as well, especially their bigger wing guys, out of our doubling schemes. And then when they did miss, they got offensive rebounds. So we're going to have to do a much better job. They're a very physical team. They're a little bit unique because they play a little bit different style. But hopefully now that we've played it and seen it, we'll be able to do a better job and be ready to be much more competitive this time around.
What's that film session like when you're going over that tape with the guys?
It's not fun because it's not just them; it's all of us. You know, when you have a performance like that and you get your butt kicked, it's never fun to watch it. But it's important that you do, and especially when you play a team again. Okay, why did that happen? What did we do? What did they do? How did they hurt us? Obviously, they'll make adjustments. We'll make some adjustments, and the bottom line is we're not going to win any games if we give up 96 points. And that's what they got last time, and we're going to have to do a much better job defending them.
They have the addition of Terrence Shannon back. What's the big difference with him?
Oh, well, I mean, the one element he brings, he's a great talent as it is, but he's a one-man fast break. His ability to generate offense off long rebounds, off turnovers. He gets the ball on the open floor, and he is really tough to stop when he gets ahead of steam. He's so powerful. He's so fast. Such a good finisher around the basket. So their transition game, elevates with him, and it just gives him that go-to guy. Another big, strong, physical kind of guard type guy that can make plays off the dribble. He can pass. He can make a three. And he's a 20-a-game scorer. So when you get in a tight game, you have a guy you can go to down the stretch. So as well as they've played, you add a guy of his caliber back to the mix. Obviously, they're one of the elite teams when they're playing well.
You're playing the same team twice in about 20, 25 days. Do you like having it on that kind of short notice, or would you rather be a longer stretch like there is normally?
Yeah, probably ideally, if you're playing a conference, you'd like to go through most of the conference and then get everybody a second time, but it is what it is. It's how the dates lined out. There is familiarity. Obviously the difference is Shannon didn't play in the first game, so that'll be something different. But the fact that our guys kind of already understand how they play, you don't have to do too much of a crash course in terms of style and how they run offense and defense. So I think that familiarity with both teams is going to be helpful. We just need to play a lot better, obviously, this time around.
Coach, you guys have avoided a losing streak so far this year. What do you think has been the ingredient to bouncing back after a performance? Yeah,
I just think you're forced to do that in this league if you want to, stay in the mix. You're going to be judged over 20 games, like I said, and obviously we've had a very difficult schedule. You look at these first 8 games, to say Illinois twice, Purdue, at Wisconsin, Michigan State, at Penn State, at Nebraska. We've played a very difficult first 8 games, or first 7 heading into this game tomorrow, and so to be 4-3 after 7, could we have maybe won at Wisconsin? Yeah. Could we have maybe won at Nebraska? Yeah. But we also could have lost at Penn State. We could have lost to Maryland. So our guys have done a pretty good job taking game by game, understanding that every game matters the same. And we're going to be judged over a 20-game period. So, even if you have a couple games that don't go your way, then you gotta make sure it's not 3, 4, 5, 6, because then you can play yourself out of it.
Following up on Matt's question, this is obviously your first rematch of the year. Last team that team was Michigan. You guys didn't there as well. Obviously, different circumstances with Shannon back in the COVID break last year with that. But is there anything different and unique about the first game, the first rematch of the conference?
I just think, the level of scouting and the level of preparation is so good that you have to be on your toes for adjustments. They're gonna want to play as well as they did, but they'll make adjustments. Shannon being out there, there's a whole package of things they do with him on the floor. I already talked about his ability to go in the open floor, which is new. But for us, certainly adjustments have to be made. We gave up almost 100 points, so if we don't adjust the way we're defending, then we're going to be asking for much of the same. So we've tried to see how can we do a better job. Defending these guys, withstanding the runs like we did on the road, and hopefully we can play much better. But that's when you play a team the second time, those are the elements that come in, right? You've already seen kind of what a team likes to do now, and it's, okay, how do you combat that? And then are you ready to make adjustments on the fly once you get into that second game?
How do you defend the paint with them?
Well, it's a little bit unique because obviously their big guy, Coleman Hawkins, plays mostly out on the floor, and he's such a skilled guy. He can shoot threes, he can pass, he brings it up at times. And their best low post players are some of their guards. Obviously Damask, you add now Shannon, Ty Rogers does a really good job of kind of backing down and making plays. So it's a unique style, that you don't really see a lot of. You see most teams are going to post their big guys and their guards, and they're a little bit inverted. So you have to do a good job making sure you protect your paint. I thought we gave up a lot of paint scores, not only with the post-ups, but the cuts, because we were trying to help on the post. And then we gave up cuts, and then we also gave up offensive rebounds. So, those eliminating points in the paint, I think, is going to be a big adjustment and big change that we're going to have to make for this game.
And it's expected to be a sellout on Wednesday night. You're familiar with Illinois coming in here, and what do you expect in terms of crowd distribution and that type of atmosphere?
Yeah, hopefully it'll be great. Our students have been fantastic, and our fans, and hopefully, it's a high-level game. You got one of the best teams in the country coming to town. We feel we're a pretty good team, and 2 in-state schools. Obviously, Illinois' got a lot of people in Chicago. You'll see a little bit of orange, but when our people show up, this is definitely a pro-Northwestern crowd. You guys have seen that over these past couple of years, and our students have really taken pride in what this atmosphere has become, and we're going to need it. This is one of the best teams. Now you add Terrence Shannon. This is a team many are predicting to be a Final Four national championship level team. So, in order to be competitive, and when you get the home, you need that home crowd to be, with you for 40 minutes, and hopefully can help you through.
Coach, obviously Brooks has had career highs in scoring in 2 of his past 4 games. Can you talk about both his ability to compliment Boo and also take over when Boo has an off night like on Saturday?
Yeah, he's gotten a little healthier, which has been good. He was dealing with a little bit of a hand injury on his right hand. It didn't inhibit his ability to play, but it was bothering him a little bit with his shooting, and he had a couple week stretch there where maybe he wasn't shooting it as well. He missed some free throws. He was fighting through it. He's been able to get healthier. Really, just like how he's attacking right now. The second half of the Nebraska game, he gave us a chance. Obviously, with Boo and Ty struggling a little bit with their shots, which happens because they're human. Boo. For Brooks to step up and have that second half that he did to put us in position to get a big road win, I thought was huge, and he's really taken on. He understands there's a lot of attention on Boo, and rightfully so. He's one of the best players, and that's where Brooks, Ty Berry, Ryan Langborg, those guys have to really step up and help him when teams are trying to shut Boo down. And Brooks has really done a great job these last couple weeks, and his activity, he's learning kind of where to attack, when to be a playmaker, and really happy with the way he's been playing these last few games.
Chris, just a couple quick ones on Taylor Battle. I'm doing a story on him. He talked about you take a chance on him when you hired him, just 1 year coaching at Penn State. What did you see in him to make that choice?
Well, obviously, I had a great admiration for Taylor as a player. I watched him. Look, he's a tough guy. He's a smart guy. To have the kind of career that he had at his size in the Big Ten is pretty incredible. Played a long time overseas. So he's a really bright basketball guy, and I got to know that through the recruiting process. He's a father figure to Boo, and so in recruiting Boo, Taylor and I had a ton of conversations, not only about Boo, but just talking basketball. And I always was very impressed with him, very impressed with his IQ, his command of the game. I always thought he had the ability, once he was done playing, to be a good coach, and it just worked out, kind of when he was finishing up playing, and we had an opening on staff, and everything I was kind of looking for, forget about his affinity, his connection to Boo. I would have hired him if he wasn't Boo's brother, because I wanted someone young that was a great player that could kind of come in here and be a mentor to our players and really help us get better, and he's done a great job of that in these last couple of years.
He's out there still, practicing with the guys. At 35, yeah. He's got a couple kids, but he's still got some game?
Yeah, he's got a lot of game. So, you get him out there and he gets his competitive juices flowing. He can still put it in the basket a little bit. There's many times after practice I'm like, man, is there any way he can get that COVID year back? We can throw him out there. Him and Boo together would be pretty good backcourt.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, guys. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.